Martin Gren is a visionary who changed the security field by introducing the TCP/IP in the CCTV world. So let's compare him with the two biggest visionaries of planet Earth, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. 1984, in front of 3,000 persons, Steve Jobs, then co-director of Apple, introduced Macintosh. Its payoff was insanely great. But what was Martin Gren launching at that time?
At that time, we were launching Axis Communications as a company, and we were dedicated to networks in the IBM world. Later, we emerged over into network for printing, but in 1996, which we had our next major milestone, was when we introduced the world's first network surveillance camera. And by then, because we were first, we were a market leader. Today, in 2011, we are still the largest company in the world in network surveillance.
You mentioned 1996 as a milestone. At that time, Bill Gates was gaining the Times magazine cover. The title was "This Man Conquered the Computer World, and Now He Wants the Internet." But he didn't have it. You had it within the framework of the security field.
Well, the first thing was that Microsoft at that time had missed the Internet bandwagon, because it wasn't until in the end of 1996 that Bill Gates finally realized that they couldn't be running proprietary network protocols. They had to join the Internet. And at that time, Netscape was already a billion-dollar company. We at Axis, of course, studied Netscape long before 1996. And when we developed the first network camera, it was obvious that we wanted to follow open standards, such as the Internet and Netscape, not the proprietary standards that Microsoft was pushing at the time.
But in 1996, your IP camera wasn't such a success. Professionals at the IFSEC exhibition were laughing at that nerd toy, but the trend changed fast, and in 15 years, Axis became what?
Now, Axis, we are roughly a $450 million company if you look on 2010 revenues. We totally dominate the world of IP-based video surveillance cameras and also of video encoders, which is also quite important because after all, there's a lot of analog cameras installed there which have DVRs which are wearing out and need to be replaced. We are the leading expert when it comes to network video. That's a position that we want to have. We have a tagline which is "Make your network smarter," which could be seen in two ways: more beautiful and more efficient.
Let's go back to 2008. While Bill Gates celebrated his last day at Microsoft, Axis founded the industry standards body ANVIF, together with Bosch and Sony. Why do you like so much standardization?
We like standardization, and a company core value is to be always open. So we always try to use open standards so that anyone can interact with us, because we believe that only by open standards a lot of manufacturers can be replaceable, which is good for the end user, but it also drives the convergence quicker, which we think is good for us and which is the reason we are such a strong proponent. And I personally think Microsoft of today would need to get Bill Gates back.
Now let's fly to 2020. What will Axis be in the vision of a visionary?
Axis will be the dominating company in the world of the network video as we are today. We will probably see a lot of new fancy stuff like security as a service, so that you not only have it on a local recording or a PC or an NVR, but rather you trust the cloud for your video service as you do today for your internet banking needs and email and so on.
Can you suggest me another visionary for my next interview, please?
When it comes to video surveillance image quality, we have our Mr. Q, if you know from James Bond, and his name is Kent Franzen, and you should definitely interview him.